Islam. Welcome to Girl Talk, Real Talk, Moorish Talk. First I rise, giving praises to our Father God Allah, honors to our Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I give honor to all national, state, and local officials of the Moorish Science Temple of America. I give honors where honors due. I give honors to our viewers. I give honors to each and every one of you. My name is Sister T. Britt Bay from Washington, D.C., Temple number 71. And today's topic is who's driving, you or Allah? And I'm
It's
going to, I'm sorry. Let me
all
let the
is
sisters introduce themselves.
Islam. I like to rise and give all praises to Allah, honor to our holy and divine prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, honors to the leadership of the Moorish Science Temple of America, honors to each and every one of you that have tuned in, honors where honors is due. My name is Sister Tiffany Hopkins Bay out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Temple number 11, Islam.
Islam. First, I rise and give praise to the great God of the universe, our Father, God Allah. I give honor to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. I give honor to everything that my beautiful sisters also gave honor to tonight. I give honor to all the viewers. I give honor to all the sisters out there who are watching us today to join in this conversation that we're about to have. My name is Sister A. Ravenel Bay from Temple number 21, Brooklyn, New York. Peace.
Islam. Thank you, sisters, for helping me out. And to our viewers, my apologies because I am not used to opening up, along with my nerves are shot tonight. So, nevertheless, we're going to our topic for this evening, which is who's driving, you or Allah? So, I have a little something I want to read to you all to kind of get our viewers in the same mindset with us on the panel this evening. So, I started off reflection is the business of man. When looking in your rearview mirror, remembering when you were a child, while riding in the back seat, you would act like you was driving, acting it out. Then when you got a little older, if you had siblings, you would call front seat. Then came Sweet 16. We began to bug our parents about driving lessons and getting our learner's permit. We studied hard and we passed that written exam. Remember the excitement we had when we saw that word passed? Now, every time we went somewhere, we'd ask to drive, had to be a licensed driver with us. We'd set our mirrors, adjust our seats, music at a minimum, both hands on the steering wheel, head on the swivel, rocking back and forth to see around all blind spots. Safety was priority, obeying all the traffic signs and laws. Now we prepare to get our license. We miss no appointments. And we're paying close attention to everything the instructor teaches. Again, we're excited to see the word passed. Be, because we because wait a minute, we're excited to see the word pass. Remember that feeling, that excitement, because we did just as we were taught. So now comes the day that we're given the keys to drive without an instructor, mom or dad, but with specific instructions, the do's and the don'ts, and we follow them for a minute. Just like when we first began our spiritual journey, we were so excited about the things we was learning. We were studying, practicing, being careful, adjusting our lives, and sharing the word with everyone. Then as the time goes by, years, we're feeling like pros, driving with one hand, some with one finger, leaning with the seat laid back, just comfortable and confident. Music up loud, speeding, safety no longer a factor. Having accidents, slamming on brakes often, running lights, breaking all traffic rules and signs, just the same as our spiritual life. We get comfortable thinking that we have it. Wisdom has blown our egos up. We don't study much, if at all. Stop hearing Allah's warnings, finding ourselves in a dark place because we didn't see the danger that was ahead. And just like rush hour traffic in New York, our lives have become congested. We're making lots of mistakes. Life is in need of repairs, going to our meetings or to church here and there, just like gas, getting just enough to get from here to there, to finally not going at all. And now here we are on empty. We've exhausted all of our resources. Life is in shambles and we need to fill up. And just like our tags go dead, insurance expires, license gets suspended, your membership is no longer, and we must renew. We're tired, broken down, and need a repair. Instead of a new vehicle, how about a better condition? So let's talk about it. So I'm gonna kick it off with the first question. And that question is, what was or is your life like when you were the driver versus when we have Allah as our driver?
Praise Allah. Islam, I'll start
Oh, okay.
because that's a heavy question. And praise Allah for your introduction too. It definitely put things in perspective and made you think about that stuff, because I think at times those are things that we take for granted. It's just stuff that you do, like you just go along and you're doing it and you're not even realizing what you're doing is just a part of life. But for me, me driving versus a lot driving is not a good look. It's not a good thing for me because first of all, man makes a plan and Allah makes a plan, and Allah is the best of planners. So I feel like, when I'm doing things my way, it don't always work out how it needs to.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I'm I'm straying away from not having my will in tune with Allah's will. And I think that I'm allowing the lower self drive me versus Allah drive and steer my life. And so I feel like Allah knows what I need, Allah knows what I want, and Allah knows what I'm supposed to have. Things happen in a certain way when I fall off the path, or when I don't adhere to my lessons, or when I don't practice, the characteristics of being a Moorish American, a Muslim queen. When I don't do those things, that's when the mishaps occur. That's when the problems come, because I'm not following the holy and divine prophet by way of Allah. So I feel like, for me personally, um, I like to go to Allah. I like to, and it's so deep because I feel like I call on Allah even when I don't realize I'm calling on Allah. I'm like, driving or in the grocery store or dealing with something stressful. I'm like, praise Allah, praise Allah. Like, you gotta say that several times a day. Praise Allah. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Yes.
it's like you don't even realize it. It's like, oh man. And then you like, yes, keep calling on Allah, because that's what's gonna help you get through all these different situations that you're going through. It's deep. And then what's funny to me is when you could tell the vibration of a situation with how you say praise Allah. Because you can be like, oh, praise Allah, sister. Or you can be like, praise Allah, sis. You know what I'm saying? It's a certain tone and how you do. And you can't say praise Allah with an attitude. You kind of got to get that right. So it's a constant and a consistent reminder for you to get yourself together. So praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
I meant that well.
I love the way you said that.
Praise Allah.
Islam. Go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
When I'm the driver, definitely, it's like a train wreck. It really is. It's like a train wreck. I got sunshades on. I'm too cool to see anything. I'm can't nobody tell me nothing. Ego up on high. Everything is about me when I'm driving. And I have a lot of bumps. And it's funny because it's bump after bump. And all I think about is just changing up how I may have went about something, and not cutting it out altogether. But I noticed that when I allow Allah to drive for me, being the passenger side, because when I think about being that passenger, as a driver, it's things that the passenger gets to see that the driver doesn't. And when you become the driver, you be like, I didn't know that was there. And that's just how it is when I allow Allah, when I surrender and let Allah be the driver of my life, I can see and hear his warnings. Because when I'm driving the music too loud, I don't hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing. But when he's driving, I can hear and I can see the danger that lies ahead. And that life is a more peaceful life. It's a more stable life for me. When I feel like I'm in control of things, nothing is stable. Nothing in my life is stable. There's no consistency other than consistency in doing wrong, doing what Tracy wants to do, what the Lord self wants to do. And praise Allah that I've chosen to allow Allah to be the driver in my life today. For real, the view is much prettier on the passenger side for me today. Praise Allah for that. It's much prettier. I'm seeing things that I didn't see before. I'm seeing them in a way that I didn't see before. So the understanding that I'm getting from these teachings and from Allah today is just phenomenal. It's just amazing. Words really can't express what these instructions mean to me, and me being able to follow these instructions. Peace.
Sis, I have to say thank you for that introduction, because I think, the way you broke down the driving, we learn. When my daughter is about to be 16, she's about to try to learn that test. She's got to learn the rules. And I remember when I had to learn the rules, notice things. You're like, oh, you're supposed to slow down on yellow. Oh, you're not supposed to speed up. Oh, you start to learn the rules of the road. And then all of a sudden you start speeding up on that yellow, right? Because you know the rule, but sometimes you remember, sometimes it's not in your conscience, and you don't stay there. And I feel like when you mentioned that, it made me think about these instructions. There are divine instructions. And I had to break it down to my children. It's like, you have instructions to put a Lego together. You have instructions to turn on something. You got instructions to make a cake. And I love using the cake example with them, because one ingredient changes the whole flavor and the texture. Right? You can eat 5 different people's chocolate chip cookies and they taste different. Same ingredients, but the instructions are different. And so when you, to your question, when Allah's leading, when I don't follow the instructions, I don't get the results that I think I'm supposed to have. That's what happens.
That's right.
I'm expecting one thing to happen, and then I turn around and another thing happens. So now I'm trying to figure out what happened, right? Because I'm trying to be in control and trying to plan and trying to do all these things. And like this is Allah's the best planner of them all. So it takes, and that's not what we hear in our world. That is not, that's not what they tell you. You got to have a 5-year plan. You got to have a 1-year plan. You got to have a plan for this and that. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have thoughts or ideas or creations, but you have to be in tune with the deific will. Without being in tune, then you actually may be going in a place that wasn't even meant or designed for you. And then you wonder why it didn't happen. But you got to be in tune with the great God Allah to know, should I be making left or right? Because sometimes you're doing something. I mean, we talk about women's intuition. You walking down a block and something says, don't turn right. Other night, we were driving home. There was a car, and we were driving for a minute, and my husband was like, you see that car? It was like, all of a sudden, it was like, yeah. He's like, go around the house. We ain't going home. Right? So we went around the corner just to make sure that we were safe. But you got to be still. You got to be quiet, right? So that Allah can speak to you. And then, to me, if we're around people, you got to see if Allah is going to use them for you. And when he uses them, he may speak to you, and then you have clarity on what you need to do. But it can't just all be about what I know. because then I'm unhappy. That's really what happens
Yeah.
when I'm driving. I'm
Yeah.
unhappy.
Yeah.
I think that's most of us. I think that's most of us.
Mm.
I'm
Yeah.
definitely that one. Go ahead,
Go
sis.
ahead.
I'm definitely that one. Couldn't wait to get the keys in my hand, and all them do's and don'ts and everything that I learned went out the window. Went out the window. I even when I first began my spiritual journey in the church, the excitement was there in the beginning, but after that, that little wisdom that I had, girl, I went out into the world thinking I had it all together, and
Mm-hmm.
before I know it, oh yeah, I was crash dummy. I was crash dummy, and you couldn't tell me that I was not the crash dummy, but I was. But praise the Lord that saving power comes through.
That's right.
You hit that
Praise the
wall
Lord.
and wake up.
I was just going to say I remember when I was learning to drive, praise the Lord, I was in my 20s because living in a big city when you're a teenager, and like you got access to the trains and the buses, like everything is like 1, 2, 3, especially when you have to travel. But also I remember being scared to even learn because I would like be driving with other people and would see so much stuff happen.
Mm.
So many other things happen. So I had like a fear for a long time. And I think at times when you can relate that to life because when you see other people doing other things, it's like you learn how to do things in a certain way. And it may not always be the right way. But
Mm-hmm.
because that's how you learn, you've been taught by watching someone and how they do things, you start to do those things just like them, and then you find out that that's not how you're supposed to do it. That's not how it's supposed to be done. And
Mhm.
so then you have to train yourself to relearn the proper way to do things, to handle business, to speak to people, to just deal with people in your everyday life. I know for me, I didn't see growing up, I didn't always see people treat people with respect or talk to them in the best way, especially when they were upset. Because I didn't grow up in the Moorish Temple of America, so at times there is a certain way that people communicate with each other, or is a certain way that people deal with each other, and I thought that was how it was supposed to be. And praise the Lord for the prophet's lessons and learning. Like, no, that's not how it's supposed to be. You're supposed
Mm-hmm.
to, treat everybody with kindness and respect. And you're not supposed to look down on your brother and sister if they've, gone through some life changes or life circumstances that you don't know about or haven't experienced yourself.
Right.
I think those type of lessons have humbled me in a way that I can have empathy for others,
Mhm.
but also having empathy for myself because there was a time that I didn't know any better. And so now when you know better, you have to do better. You have a certain charge on you that says that you have to do better because you know. So
Mm-hmm.
praise a lot for that.
Mm.
Praise a lot.
Well, I'll go ahead and I'm gonna kick off a question. Um, so why does it seem so hard to allow Allah to drive? Why is it so hard?
Because man is true for false is strangely mixed.
Okay, so
Um, to me, that's that's my answer. Um, we true for false is strangely mixed, and it's sometimes we gonna get it right, and there's some days when we gonna get it wrong. It's because we want to get it wrong.
mm,
We know ourselves, and when we are studying ourselves the way we are supposed to study ourselves, when you're getting into that mode of you want to be hard head and stiff neck, and you want to be in your low. I know I do. And that's just, listen, when I say things, I'm speaking directly from how I react to things and how I deal with things. I know when I'm being difficult. I can
Mm-hmm.
feel it.
That's
It's a
right.
certain energy, it's a certain vibration. Um, and I know when I'm also speaking from sincerity and love and the five principles: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So we know when there's a difference. So I think when you stray away from Allah and the prophet's instructions and teachings and the laws and all that type of stuff, you're in low self, and it's hard for you because you're still bound down to this carnal nature. So that's why it's a constant reminder for us to get ourselves together, like get ourselves in tune with right, the right way that the prophet wants us or has instructed us, and by the laws that Allah has for mankind. Like I said before, when you know better, you're supposed to do better.
Right.
So for me, it's hard because my lower self is strong too. So
Absolutely.
sometimes that fight, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. Praise Allah.
Islam. I totally agree with everything you said. And I'm gonna say weakness. I'm gonna add weakness to that. It
Mm-hmm.
says, vain and inconstant as thou art, O child of imperfection. How canst thou be weak? Is not constancy connected with frailty? Can there be vanity without infirmity? Avoid the danger of the
Mm-hmm.
one, and thou shalt escape the mischiefs of the other. Weakness is so deeply rooted in a lot of us. And past practice, habit form makes it hard, as well as, just like you said, sister, some of us just don't want to do what we know to do in some areas of our life, of some areas of our lives. I know that there are times I've seen myself where there are times when I could be at work and somebody could say something to me, and the first thing that comes to mind is to do the right thing. But today I just don't feel like it. I'm about to give it to him. And I have those moments. That's just how I feel. You about to get this one. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying it in a proud way. I'm just being real. Like, I'm not
Right.
always on point. I'm just not. And I'm not always uh I am knowledgeable of when I'm out of pocket. Let me say that. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
times. And no, I don't feel good after the fact. I feel good for a moment, in that moment,
Mm-hmm.
but when I really think about it, and I get by myself, I feel bad about it. But I just had moments where, yeah, you about to get it. But those, that's what makes it hard for me. Is the fact that there are some things that are just simply rooted in me, um, and some things are habit formed. And so this is why my consistency in my studies is so important. If we want to be different, we profess out our mouth, we want to change, we want to be different. We in Sunday school, we in our meetings, and we praising Allah, but our acts tells us, what we really want. Just our
Right.
behavior alone lets us know what we want as far as change for ourselves. So I think it's just a matter of, if you want, I mean, yeah, sure, we're going to make mistakes. And the good thing I like about that is the fact that we learn from those mistakes, and we're getting stronger and stronger behind those mistakes that we made, because of the lessons that we're learning from when we do fall short. So I'm learning not to beat myself up so much when I do, because I want so badly to get it right. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, my lower self reminds me on a daily basis, Tracy, you ain't ready. Just when I'm thinking I've arrived, you're not ready. Pick your book up and get into it, and then practice what you're reading. Don't just read it. And I'm learning to take little at a time, bite a little at a time, because I was known for trying to take out chunks, and I was just stumbling real bad. So I'm taking a little at a time, and learning how to digest that little bit, and process that. So yeah, that's it for me. Peace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can be hard, and I'll say for me why sometimes it's hard. You kind of talked about weakness. It made me think about inconstancy.
Mm-hmm.
Me,
All of it.
it's the being inconsistent with whatever it is to protect me and guard me from it, because you know you you can start off your day a certain way, and then all of a sudden it goes a whole nother level,
Whole nother
just a
way.
whole nother way, right? And the lower self is busy working too, right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
telling you. And am I here? Uh-oh. I think I glitched. I don't know. But
You should be good now.
thank you, sis. But when you were talking, sister, about the person that comes to you, that made me think about there used to be a time, right, where if someone reacted a certain way, maybe they were in their lower self with me, when two strike rule, right? It's the way I was like, first time, okay, maybe there's something, but the second time you do something to offend me or to be difficult or whatever it is, or coming at me in a different way, I would shut down. And my
Mm-hmm.
shutting down was me protecting myself. But then it wasn't just about me protecting myself. You would say something and I had nothing to give you. I couldn't be, it was hard to find kindness and good. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
no. And then there became an evolution, and I'm still working on it, where I realized Allah speaks to everybody. The image of Allah is in everyone. And I had to try to figure out ways to open up so that I can, you know, don't know what's happening with this person, don't know what's going on with that one, be able to, let them do their and not trigger my lower self, because it was very clear. It was clearly triggering me when, someone
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh really? No, I don't have that for you. I ain't have time for you. Um, and I realized that's not our lessons,
Right.
that isn't a part of our lessons. And so that to me is also a test of how far we've come. So,
Mm-hmm.
however we've come, we got to figure out, okay, how do I get back on this track? But to me, that's the inconstancy, that nature urges thee to inconstancy, right?
Yes, it
Therefore,
Mm-hmm.
does.
guard thyself at all times against it,
Against it, yeah.
all times,
That's right.
Yeah.
So without remembering that I'm going to be inconsistent. Things are going to throw me off. I was talking, to Brother Hopkins, who was helping early before in the back, about I'm tired today. It was not enough rest, and so it's just throwing me off. And I'm like, okay, but you gotta figure this out. That is not an excuse for you to be mean.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an excuse for you to have a shortness. It's not an excuse. I hear you, I see you, but I have to put that lower self in check. And that's a
Mm-hmm.
part of us all knowing ourselves, because I know it. I knew when I woke up, I was like, okay, today gonna be that day. I gotta fight real hard today.
That's right. Praise
Yeah.
the Lord for the challenges, though, because there are lessons in each challenge.
Hmm.
That's right. That's right. Definitely. Praise the Lord. I wanted to share that our sister Ingrid Ill, praise the Lord, she sends her Islams and loves to each and every one of you, and she wanted to be here, but she'll be back in 2 weeks with us. But she has a question that she would like asked, and it is: have you ever doubted that Allah was working things out in your favor?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. There were times where I thought, because I was driving, that that it was gonna go the way that I wanted it to go. And I was like, okay, he's got me. I'm doing what I need to do. He's got me, but I
Mm-hmm.
was so hard headed and focused on, this is what I want to do, and this is where I'm trying to go, that after recognizing that I was not getting the results that I wanted, it's like, oh, okay. Um, he has me because I'm okay, but I'm not getting what I want. And then it
Mm-hmm.
gets you back in check to say, okay, now sit down and do your lessons and talk to him. At least for me, it was like, sit down and talk. Did he say that to you? Did he tell you that? Was there any inclination that that was the right path for you? And through
Mm-hmm.
that, I was able to kind of step back and be like, oh, wait a minute. Let me humble myself. I don't have the answer to this. Allah does.
Mm-hmm.
His
Mm-hmm.
counsel is sincere,
Mm-hmm.
So let me take a minute and try to still myself and go back to talking to Allah to see where really should I be. So, that's my answer to that. Of course, I doubted. I was like, ain't we going this way? We're not going this way? No. What you mean we're not going this way? You at me? No.
Right. Praise Allah. I think that before in the past, like when I was, I don't know, probably years ago when I was going through some things, I probably felt like I was not working in my favor. But I think since, I don't know, for a long time, I've definitely felt like I put everything that doesn't work in my favor, or like stuff that I'm going through, I put that on my shoulders and always feel like, what should I or could I have done different? Like, did I not do what I was supposed to do, or did I not deal with things in a certain way? I always feel like that. Like, I internalize stuff where I just feel like, how could I have made a certain situation better? So at times it's hard, because I remember a couple weeks ago, I was like, I think I was tired. I was overwhelmed. I was just stressed out. Just going through some things. And I think at times when you are constantly on go and you don't take a minute to pause and breathe and just get yourself together, your body starts to break down, but your mind starts to break down too. And I recall being at the store with my husband, and I don't even remember what was going on, but I just started crying, and he just was like, "You're gonna be okay. It's all right." And I didn't think that it was a lie not working in my favor. I just felt like, I honestly felt like a lie. You probably taking a little bit long with this. Like, whatever it is I needed at that moment, it's taking a little bit long, and I'm trying to have patience. I'm trying to hold on, but it's a little bit stressful. It's a little bit stressful, and it's a little bit hard. I never lose faith, but I definitely felt like this, whatever I'm waiting on, is just taking a little bit long, and I'm trying. Because I constantly tell myself, just hold on, because Allah gonna give you what you need when you need it. So just hold on. But I just, in that moment of me being extremely emotional and tired and stressed, I was like, Allah, you please just come on a little bit quicker. And it's like, then it's like, you got to humble yourself, because Allah is working out so many other things, and specifically in your life. So you can't rush Allah. You have to have patience, and you have to pray. And guess what? With that, all will be well. Yes. And I think that for me, I don't tell myself that enough. Like I said, I wear those burdens, I wear those concerns within me all the time. And I think that you have to you just got to pray. You got to meditate. You got to talk to Allah. You know what I'm saying? You got to have that conversation between you and Allah. It don't have to be nobody else involved, because whatever it is that and make sure it's not something like super mundane. Because I had to change the way I was praying and asking for like simple stuff to like, no, Allah, can you work with me with my patience, work with me with my temper, work with me with, guide me on how to be a better person, on how to get more peace in my mind, in my thoughts. I think those are, for me, those are the more important things to ask for versus, please don't let my car cost over $1,000 to get fixed. Please don't let it be like that. Like, oh goodness. But I think that we have to. It's so funny, because it's like, please work with me to continue to do the things that I need to do to provide for my family. You know what I mean? Like those are, for me, those are the more important things, because
Absolutely, yes.
there are sometimes when you are broke down and you're exhausted and you got to keep going, and so you asking a lot for the strength. Please give me the strength to continue.
Josh.
You know, so praise a lot. That's how I feel on that. But
Mhm.
praise a lot. When them
And I
car
just,
joints cost over $1,000, they could be painful. Praise
Yeah.
a
it is. Yes, it is. I just have to say, sis, to go with you on that though, I had to also change the way I asked because, when, I'm thinking about a particular situation, with my business, and I really wanted, I was looking at this business for these particular investors, and I was like, okay, this is the way Allah got me. This is the way it happened.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't happen that way. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, crushed. I'm like, I'm doing all the work, I'm doing all the things, I feel like I'm doing all the right things. And I had to go back to my ask, which really was Allah opened the door to make this, to make it easy for whatever it is for you. Be a little more
Mm-hmm.
general. Sometimes I try to focus on the details. It's not the details.
Right.
Sometimes it's the path to get you there. Because
Mm-hmm.
when I reflect back, when it didn't happen where I thought I was going to, I'm very thankful that I didn't. And now I'm like, oh, Allah, you protected me, because I know some friends who went through this and they're not doing too good right now because of the
Mm-hmm.
way the economy works. And I'm like, oh, and meanwhile, that's why, that question was interesting. I'm like, yeah, I remember that thought came to me. Was like, yeah, I just knew I got that. I was like, I'm doing my work. I'm doing all these things I need to do to get myself together. And it didn't. And I was like, oh, wow, I thought you had me, And
Right.
though, that's the crazy part in my heart. And I know he had me because he's the best. He knew what was going to happen. He's like, that's not the
Mm-hmm.
path for you. So I had to step back and be like, oh, I did ask you to guide me through for whatever the next phase is. I thought I knew what the next phase was, but you had a better plan. And so you helped avoid me. So sometimes, even when we're thinking that we're doing the right thing, and I'm with you, you like reflect on what could I have done differently. Sometimes that's just not the path of how he wants you to live and succeed, and he can dream a bigger dream for you, but you got to
Mm-hmm.
and so I had to run and say, oh, I got to pray a little bit bigger and let go. And that's hard for me. I'm
Yeah.
like, I need the list, I got the plan, the step action, but I have to let Allah drive. He gonna take me there. I just might not like the.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand the route we're going because that's not the route that I go. You know what I mean? That
Right.
trust Allah. That's
Right.
big.
It is. Praise a lot.
Praise the Lord. Yeah, I have to say absolutely. I have doubted from fear. Um, I've had, as well as anybody else, I've had my fair share of challenges, and I'm still having them. And there are moments when I don't know if it's doubt, but I'm not sure. But what I will say is today, along with the fear or the doubt, I will stand. I will sit still. Whereas though before I used to move on impulse and do what I thought um, should be done. But today, I sit still. Um, I can get caught up on what I see, and that brings about the doubt. Just by looking at the challenge itself, um, and I'll begin to doubt. But I have to learn to look beyond that, getting to that place of trust. What helps me to do that and to stand still and wait on Allah is I have to reflect on some other situations that I've had in my life before that has gotten me right here to this point, that I'm
Mm-hmm.
hungry for his word, that that I want to wait for him. I have to remember I had the same doubt, I had the same fears then. Nothing's different. I also have to take in consideration type of person I am. I'm not a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
So why won't he look out for me? You know what I'm saying? I'm
Mm-hmm.
not out here doing anything of malice to anyone, intentionally to hurt um or to destroy anyone. So it's things like that I have to look at. Why I feel like I'm deserving for Allah to take care of me, you know, to handle me, to get me over that hump, to help get me to that next level.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Sometimes situations can happen in your life, and God they be so traumatic and have you in such a dark place, like you can't even see the light at the end of the tunnel. But like I said, I have to remind myself, Tracy, you've been here before.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've been here before. Find out what's your part. Find out what it is you can do to assist in your getting to that next stage. You know, and there's nothing I don't believe I can't do. You know, I can't has never been in my vocabulary. Never, ever, ever. I don't care how traumatic the situation is. I don't care how dark and gloomy it seems to be. I'm gonna get up. I'm coming up off of this. Seems like I do my better fighting when I'm in that corner. When I'm back in that corner, it ain't really nowhere else to go but fight your way out. Seems like I do my best fighting that way. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I stand still today when I'm doubting, because that's that instability, that's that wavering, that's that uncertainty. And I
Mm-hmm.
already know what the outcome is when I roll off of that. I already know it ain't gonna be nice. It ain't gonna be what it is I'm looking for. I feel like I've suffered so much gloom just from my own driving till I just don't want to live that anymore. I really don't. So I just stand still. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
do today. I stand still and I wait. And it almost seemed like just before you about to faint, he come. Earlier today, and I don't mean to take up too much time, but earlier this morning, I was going through it. To the point I was like, how am I gonna do this show? Because it was a lot in my head. It was a lot in my head. And I got emotional, and I thought of some sisters to call, but I'm like, okay, I know they at work. I don't want to bother them with this while they're at work. And so something said, pick your Quran up. Pick my Quran up, and Allah's words took me to a specific place. So you know how you reading and you don't read the rest because you know what it's saying? So I closed the book. And some say, open the book back up and read the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I read the entire thing and I got what I needed to get. And I started crying because it's a wonderful feeling when Allah come through and he give you just what you need in that time. And just as I read it, my phone rung. And it was one of the sisters in the movement. And it was a sister I didn't think to call, but she called me. Just seeing her name flash across my phone, I looked up and I said, Allah, thank you. You are definitely like that in my book. When I say so on time, so that it curves a lot of the doubting. Not saying I don't doubt, but times like that curves me doubting as much as I did before. You know, and that sister came through and he spoke through her, baby. When I say close the circle up all the way to the point that my back was humped over when she called. But when she got off that phone with me, I was sitting straight up. And I want to thank that sister. I know she's watching right now. You know who you are. I thank you again. I praise Allah for you. I praise Allah for all my sisters because y'all have no idea. Y'all be doing things for me in my life and don't even be realizing it. So I'm saying thank you now. But yeah, so peace.
Can I just say, sis, when you just said that, you said something told me to something that clearly sounded like Allah told you
Yeah,
Mhm.
praying. And Allah told you go back and read it.
that's right.
And Allah said, hold on, let me hook you up a little extra. And then your phone rang.
Mhm.
You know? So I mean
Yes,
that's so beautiful, again, when we let Allah drive, because
yes, ain't it?
he
Ain't it?
drove
I mean,
and
isn't it?
he took you to a different place.
Yes, he did. Yes, he
Same thing
did.
this morning. I told you I started off rough, and then a sister called me this morning from the movement and just started talking to me, and I was like, wow, like I needed that uplifting. I needed to not be sitting here thinking, oh my goodness, it's only 8:45 and I got 12 hours of work to do. I didn't need to think that, and
Yes, yes,
and she just and I said. And I did ask Allah in that morning when I was getting ready. I said, Allah, I don't want to feel this way. Help me. And so, just sometimes we just got to know that he's ready to help.
yes,
But then you got to be willing to receive help,
yeah.
you
Gotta
know?
be,
And
gotta
that's hard.
be.
And I speak for me. That can be hard, receiving help from anyone, to be like, oh, can I help? I'm like, no, I got this. I got this, but learning how to receive help from others in Allah is, it's important. It's critical. It's beautiful when you said that.
Mhm.
Mm.
Praise Allah. I was just, it was so good listening. Wow. It'd be so interesting. Um, like I feel like at times, like I'm just listening to you all, and I just be like, I get so much. I'm like mesmerized. But praise Allah. When the sister said, so when Sister Britt Bay spoke about, um, I'm trying to remember it. She said that why would I not be worthy of him?
Mm.
Why would I'm not a bad person. I'm not, I don't have any malice in my heart. So why would I not be worthy? That part struck something in me because I feel like that is so true. When you have good intentions,
Mm,
when you have you have purity of
mm-hmm.
heart on board, and you are trying to just show love, and it's not felt or it's not appreciated, or those are the times when you have to definitely call on Allah, because Allah sees all and Allah knows all. So that when you're coming with the purest of intentions and stuff like that, you know, talk to Allah, because that man being truth and falsehood strangely mixed. Sometimes you're not going to get the response that you think you deserve.
That's it.
But yeah, but Allah going to always see that part of him that's within you.
Yeah.
So and
Yes.
it's so crazy because we talked earlier. There are times when certain situations happen and occur, and it makes you question your character.
Hmm.
It makes you question, you know, who you are and
Yeah, it does.
and what you stand for. And praise Allah, I had to say this several times today. First of all, we are working um as we would any other day, but we are working this life out as Moorish American Muslims. That means something. That means you are
Mm-hmm.
dealing with people that have standards, that have morals, that have respect, that have values, that have lessons, laws, principles. We There's a certain standard that you get when you deal with us. And we are not going to allow you or anybody else to sit up here and act like we would do something harmful to anybody. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that because there have been some things that my husband and I have had to deal with. And at times when we go through certain things, we got to pull each other up.
Mm.
And those are things that I had to say today. Like, our intentions are always pure when we are serving those that we love, and even when we're serving those that we don't, because we're taught that we got to serve are kin, those who are no kin, the stranger at the gate, the foe who seeks to do you harm. You got to serve all of that. So
right.
that being known, we are always doing we are always about our Father's work. That uplifting fallen humanity, we're about that life. Whether it's business or not, we are about that life. And what people don't realize is that just because you run a business does not mean you have to do it in a manner that is not productive and not about peace and love. Like, nah, our principles are in everything that we do. So praise the Lord. When you said that, being deserving of certain things, that is absolutely true and correct. 100% true and correct, because you know that your intentions are pure. And when you have that in your mind and in your thoughts, that you listen, Allah gonna come through from you every day of the week. It might not be exactly when you want it, but Allah gonna come through for you. He's going to definitely give you what you need when you need it.
That's right.
Praise Allah.
Praise Allah. Yeah, I mean, I just gotta say one, yes, because again, that's us thinking that the way we think it's supposed to be solved is the way that Allah's gonna serve it.
Mm-hmm.
It don't look that way. And you know how he got you? You got clothes on your back.
Yeah.
Your water turn on. There's food figured out. There's a lot of things that he just makes happen for you. So this one moment or this one decision, or I just like that one thought, it's like, I thought this was the way. No, that's not the way for you. He said the path. What did he say in that chapter? You know I'm going at. You got to walk in the path that he has set for you. I'm gonna get it. It's like let prudence admonish ye. Hold on.
Temperance, restraint,
justice guide thy hand, benevolence warm thy heart.
Religion.
I'm saying that again.
Is it religion?
Yes. Oh, fear Allah, therefore the days of the life, and walk path which he hath opened before thee. He got to open the path for you first off. Let prudence admonish thee, temperance restrain, justice being fair, guide thy hand, benevolence warm thy heart, and gratitude to heaven inspire thee with devotion. Devoted to this. These shall give thee happiness in thy present state and bring thee to the mansions of eternal felicity in the paradise of Allah. This is the true economy of human life. That's a hard lesson sometimes. It's like, you just got to walk. It's like, no, that's not the path. I said, this is the path. And the minute you walk in that path, at least I know with me, I was like, oh, this is so much easier. Oh, I didn't. I wish I wasn't trying to drive the wrong way, but this is the right way. This is the way we're supposed to go.
Yes. Yeah.
It's deep, because when you first started out, I was also thinking to add on to that list, breath, the ability to open your eyes, to wake up in the morning and take a breath. Those things we actually at times take for granted.
That's right.
We think we're going to be able to do this every day and we're going to just be okay. Listen, be careful what you take for granted and what you don't thank Allah for. And I tell, it's deep, because I talk to my children and I say, listen, when you wake up in the morning, thank Allah for being able to wake up, because not everyone did.
That's right.
Not
everyone food on that plate.
That's
not
right.
Everybody had it. Praise Allah that you have parents and you got a house of it. Not everybody had it.
Exactly.
Not everybody had that. Then when you said it, made me think, that's why we're supposed to make human hearts our altars.
That's right.
That's why. Because when you were out there laying your grain, a dove, or whatever it is to the table of poor, you realize what others have and what don't, and you're going to be all right.
That's right.
You got a little bit more than you think that you might have. And it's important that we got to do it.
Absolutely. Praise Allah.
Let's do one more question. Who got one more question before we wrap up?
Okay, I got one. So I'm sorry.
Reese's birthday, she had it ready. Go ahead, sis.
I know.
No, but mine's is small. Mine's is real small though. All right, so you know how you driving and you got a backseat driver, because I know I backstreet drive other people, especially my husband, because praise Allah, I'm gonna let him live. But how How do you think you are when you backseat drive with Allah? So Allah basically, like, Allah is controlling things, Allah is working things out, and it's like you don't like the way it's going, you don't like the path you're going. You like, how do you react to those things? How do you handle that? How do you like get yourself in check? And it could be simple, real simple answers.
Hmm.
I
How
just
do
say,
we get?
I think for me, it was about that constancy. It's like, what are the things that I'm doing to guard against me thinking it should be one way, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, what's one thing or two things I can do to kind of, prophecy God, with principles of action, what are the things that I can do to kind of like keep me in divine tune with his will.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the part, is that we living in this world that truth and falsehood, strange miss on this carnal world. We walking around and I'm hearing this and I'm hearing that and I'm hearing other people, which also got me in trouble. But I'm not listening to Allah.
Mm-hmm.
So what do I do to listen to Allah? That's reading my Quran. You know,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
that's me
Mm-hmm.
calling on my Moorish brothers and sisters more often. You know, sometimes you need that. You need somebody that's gonna pull it out of the Quran for you fast and then let Allah speak through them. You know, um, sometimes it's flipping through the Quran and asking Allah. I know, me. I love being able to go through, listen to our Facebook and just pick a Sunday school, just like a wheel. Just pick which one I want to hear. I want to hear this one back in January, and I'll ask Allah whatever I'm supposed to hear, and He'll let me hear that. So that's some of the things that I started to do to embed in my day, because that inconsistency is strong, and it'll have me doubting the direction and backseat driving. Like, you sure we're supposed to go this way? And I'm not supposed to do that. So that's what I do.
Praise Allah. I
Praise
just think
Allah.
about. Oh, okay. You were
Um,
stuck. Sorry, sis.
I'm gonna piggyback. Oh, okay. I'm gonna piggyback off of Am I stuck? I'm stuck.
You good.
I'm stuck.
We can hear you.
Am I stuck?
You good.
Keep going.
Okay. Back off of what my sister said. Because okay. It's stuck.
You okay?
Is
We
it
can hear
stuck?
you.
Okay. So I'm gonna piggyback from what Sister Ravenel Bay said, because um principle life and having those boundaries. Um and to
Mm.
maces. But the studying alone just isn't enough for me. See, I gotta practice what I'm studying. I could read all day long and not apply nothing, and it still won't do me any good. So application of what I'm seeing important, well as meditation practice, so that helps me to maintain a lot of the wisdom that I'm gaining from these instructions and from my lessons. Um, Man, let me tell you, y'all, I lived in darkness to me for so long till I'm really hungry. For real. I really want to get, so I'm serious about my spiritual journey. It's not a game with me, so yeah, I'll take the back seat, and I'll let Allah drive. And forgive me of those times when I feel like I want to snatch the steering wheel and do the driving, or when I want to push on the brake in fear of going down this road that He wants to take me down. Um, and I'm steady pushing on the brake because in fear of the unknown. So I stay in my studies so that my trust factor can increase. You know what I'm saying? He's already proven to me enough times in my life.
I think we lost this. Oh,
Yeah, my studying and me applying my lessons is what I do to stay in that back seat and let Allah do what he needs or wants to do for my life, because he knows better than I do. And he sees everything that I can't see. So praise the Lord.
Praise Allah. I'll just quickly share. I remember, the instruction out of chapter 36. Holy instructions from the prophet, know thyself. Instruction number 1, and it keeps me on my toes. Weak and ignorant as thou art, O man, humble as thou oughtest to be, O child of the dust. Wouldn't thou rise thy thoughts to infinite wisdom? That keeps me from getting in the way of Allah.
Yes, it does.
Praise Allah. With that, I say peace, Morris.
Peace. Well, I want to just say thank you all for being with us today on the show. As we mentioned before, our sister Ingrid is not able to be with us today, but as you see, she was watching along with us, and she's going to be there for the next show. We love you, sis.
We love
also,
you.
Yes, we do love you. Just a few reminders on Friday. Actually, before Friday, you're going to see on Thursday. You're going to have Universal Love. It's going to be on Brother and Sister Adams Bay. They have a beautiful topic. So if you want to continue this topic, you got to check the show out. Allah, the author, the creator, the governor of the world, with guest speakers, Brother T. Austin Neal and Brother J. Lattimore Bay. So they will be there and continue the conversation on Friday. We have our Holy Day meeting, which is at 7 p.m. Eastern time, 7:30 Eastern time. That's our Holy Day. Sunday school is on Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern time. And next week, Wednesday, is Sakara Sacred Healing. And that's going to be happening with Brother and Sister Berry Bay. And another big shout out, just so you all know, our Moorish holiday is on March 17th. It is Tag Day. And in honor of Tag Day, there's going to be a special show that's going to happen on Sunday. So you have to check it out. It's going to be fun. It's going to bring some excitement. So make sure you have your notifications on. So when things release, you see that for that. And check out our website, MSTA 13 Inc., so that you can learn more about Tag Day. But have a wonderful rest of your evening. We look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. Girl Talk, Real Talk, Moorish Talk. Peace.
Peace.